Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermorians! Hi, folks. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, free-range artist, author, free-range, swordmaster, and retired paranormal consultant. Yes, folks, it is fall, and leafy moss is upon us. That most splendid of holidays that you've probably never heard of. Now, I'm sure the chat is hopping and popping because apparently, before we get into that, there was an error, and it said I would be streaming at 10 p.m. tonight. I will not be streaming here at 10 p.m. I will be streaming on my other channel at 8 p.m. But, I have to take it up with my technical producer over here. Hey, Nick, why'd you do that? Dude, it's a slider bar. These things happen. Don't be a yutz. Sorry. There. Chastised. Mea culpa, we're rolling. Now, why am I so excited? You may notice I'm a little hyped today. I'm a little hyped for me today. Couple things happened. Day before yesterday, 90 degrees. Yesterday, 60-something. Like, oh, weather fitting my clothes. The evil orb is going to hit the angles where it's not quite so evil to me. And most importantly, leafy moss is upon us. So Nick. Well, what is leafy moss? Please explain. What are you on about? No, because first I have to talk about how we keep the lights on. We keep the lights on with, these are the books I have handy. The Simple Sword. I'm professional this morning. Woo! Happy Friday, folks. The Simple Sword, the Big Stumpy Robots, and of course the Fighting Axe. My copies of the Simple Spear are due in today or tomorrow. I am so excited I could scream. Oh, but we're also made possible by the lovely patrons who donate to the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon group, because everything that goes into making my lovely setup there a little more lovely also goes into making this show a little more lovely. And I have these hiccups, so I'm just fighting everything today. But I will not be derailed. I am just high on life right now, and I'm going to tell you why. What? Nick. What in the blood-soaked pick a denomination, heck, are you talking about? Leafy Moss is a formerly secret holiday shared by me and an elite group of individuals where two important things happen. First off, it is the reminder for those of us who partake that it is time to dig out, acquire, or your copy of A Night in the Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny. As many of us read the day-to-day chronicled adventures of Snuff, Jack the Ripper's dog, as he and Jack try to prevent a Lovecraftian apocalypse. It is one of my favorite novels of all time. It is very, very friendly, and it is something that has a chapter a day throughout the month of October. So it's part of our family tradition. This lets you build up the spooky continuously and gets you into the season before the triumphant climax where hopefully the world doesn't end. But I'm not going to give spoilers because it might. It's dicey, folks. But there is another side to Leafy Moss, a special, beautiful side, wherein I set up a special folder that only exists during this time. And we creatives put stories in it, ebooks. And then we share the secret link to each other so that they can read the lovely stories in it as a way of, like squirrels collecting the acorns of entertainment. We can ferry these little stories away for the coming winter so that we can sit and read and enjoy. And it's a wonderful time of little giving. And okay, PDFs you may have acquired have been known to fall into that folder. I, of course, would never condone piracy. But these things happen. So we'll see. But friends, if you want to write a story, and I'm not really going to curate it other than host it to people I know who can actually write. I don't care if it's flash fiction. I don't care if you're like, I have a novel that I really don't feel is ready to publish, but I want to throw it up if people want something to read. I may be digging into my Wayback Files and putting up something that's a portion. I don't necessarily like where the story evolved from it, but I love the original part and premise that made the first version. So I may just be putting up a spooky little tale in there. And if you guys like it, I may throw it up on Amazon. I need to throw up more stories and things on Amazon, and I just need to get through a whole bunch of editing. But, so Leafy Moss is upon us. Interested parties will know how to contact me, and I will send you the link to the folder wherein you can deposit and share stories around. This is not, not truly a public thing. And it will only go to people I actually trust. But that is something I do every year, usually for my friends. This year, of course, the sharing of legitimately acquired ebooks and things may occur. And I just want to celebrate fall because yes, I wear Hawaiian shirts. Yes, I love bright, bold clothing. But I adore fall. Fall is my season. It's so wonderful. And it's got the best elements of just about everything. And I am here for it. This summer has been a little trying on me. We accomplished a lot. We had a lot of setbacks. But the sensible, calming, the veils are thin where the spooky stuff comes out. Life is good. And I get to watch a lot of black and white horror movies. So, Leafy Moss is upon us. If you are interested, contact me and I'll set you the link and we'll start doing that. I do ask if you take out of it, put something in for everybody. And don't nobody be a dick, okay? The rule 0, don't be a dick of, it's other people's writings. Don't plagiarize or anything hinky. Okay, cool. Now, one other big announcement, and I have to get to the comments a bit because I threw a link in the beginning. Amazon.com/Alyssa-Evans, and there's a bunch of gobbledygook. This. Let's see, has it come up? Excellent. Sorry, my computer's being a little slow, and I don't see anything else running, so it's probably just the... Oh, it's Friday. I forgot. My computer's always slower on Fridays because my wife is home, and that means her phone is connected to my internet. So I took my phone off the internet, and that should help just a touch. But why am I... Who is Alyssa-Evans? Alyssa is both one of my sword students and one of the lovely people I met while I was substitute teaching. She's one of my favorite people on the planet. She's way up there in the reasons why I tolerate the existence of humanity. And she's richly creative, brilliant young lady. I forget what time, she's a grown adult, but she'll always be young to me. That happens when you're old and you have a vaguely parental isn't the right vibe, but I'm very protective of Alyssa. She means the world to me in very fun ways. But I'm also incredibly proud of her. And she went out and wrote a book and published it through Amazon. Like I tell people, why not give it a shot? And I bought it, and I will be reading it as I get a chance. It's called Obsidia, and it is a story about a young lady pulled into a conflict between different worlds. Very isekai for people with that term. From her version of an elevator pitch. And as I get more information about her, I will happily share that with you. And if you want to contact her and ask more information, you can get more information from aeauthorobsidia@gmail.com. And yes, I know I'm jumping the gun and I'm doing a plug, but guys, those of us who've been published for a while, think about that feeling of the first time you tried. First time you put something out there. It's only an ebook right now. I'm going to be bugging her to get it into paperback for us oldsters. And she's a very, frankly, she's an introvert. I love her dearly, but she is. And so she's going to need a little help from those of us who have learned to escape the bonds of introversion for short periods of time, which I am. Never think I'm actually an extrovert. A lot of people get this idea. Nick's this big. I am until I'm not. And when I'm not, all the batteries are drained and I am in full toad mode. Because you can usually tell my mood by how I dress. I either dress like a poison dart frog, oh, look at me, or a toad. Muted earth tones beneath my hat. That usually tells you how on the clock I am. But I've been prattling for nearly 15 minutes now with intro time. Let's see what the important people in the chat have to say. And Michaela Jade was first through the door at 9:51. And thank you. I'm sorry about the scheduling error. Well, since it's just me, then maybe check out my stuff at Amazon. At Amazon. I'm sorry. I see WWA and my brain spells Amazon. At authormichaelajade.com. Yes, Michaela's a wonderful author, especially if you like spicy romance. So, by all means, and what have you been up to, Michaela? Let's skip all this stuff. Morning, folks. Hey, Richie, I've been seeing you everywhere, my friend. I am my brother from another mother. Anyway, I am so glad to see someone has picked up my evening hour slack across important programs like Stupid O'Clock and I believe Last Man Standing. It's really great because I catch glimpses of you while, I've woken up to go to the bathroom, check a noise, look at my phone, make sure nothing else is going on. We do. You guys understand. So great seeing you. What have you been up to? How's the werewolf project coming? Give me details. Comment dump. Comment dump. Everybody bumps. It's a comment dump. Okay. Morning, Rich. We got greetings. Live in 12 hours. Yeah. That. That was I slid it, and when I found it, it was less than 10 minutes, so I couldn't fix it. So if you want more of me today, boy, is today the day to do it, because I will be doing the Historical Fencing Guild starting at 8 p.m. And we are covering cursed sword images, the designs that people make that make sword masters cry tears of blood and want to hemorrhage out their brains, because apparently that is what my viewers want to see me see. So I have a folder that I sent the link out to my patrons and a few other select people, where they have dumped the images, and I will be reacting to that because they want to see me in pain. And you know what? If you don't get a spook out of the season, what's the point? So I will do this. Let's see what else we have. Morning, Michaela. And yes, sorry about the glitch. I was having Grant Lankard, I accidentally, there's a slider tab that says AM or PM. I hit PM, so it wasn't showing up. It's not on you. That one's on me. It happens. You start doing enough shows, you get goofed up. And no, can't be derailed when you have no rails. Absolutely. No rails here whatsoever. But ignore the man in the charcoal suit. He has nothing to do with the situation. But yes, we're still going through the day. We're going to make it. And I want to know how you guys are doing. Kickstarter for Beowulf #4 exceeded my expectations. I want to thank you for giving me this platform to promote it. Grant, it is my absolute pleasure. I know it's hard to go between all the shows and stay engaged and keep it up. I want to promote a lot of people, and I tend to promote the people. If it seems like I'm not pushing some people, it's because they don't need a lot of push. There are some people who are just getting started, and they really need the heavy action running behind to get it going. I could say Grant Lankard's Beowulf #4 is out, and the fan base will go, "Oh yes," and the people who aren't will go, "What?" And before I can say anything, your fan base are like, "Dude, he rocks! This is a great thing." That's the kind of momentum I'm trying to build, because you're doing great work, Grant. You've been doing great work. That's where a lot of people want to get, and it's interesting. As members of the Rising Tide broadcasters, our fearless leader changed the name, so there was no confusion that we were all tangled up in one network. But excuse me, sorry about that. If we can get people moving, and works like this out there where they're funding and people are seeing what they need, we're doing our jobs as promoters. Now, this isn't a shill channel, but boy, do I shill a lot. I understand that. It's more about building people up, and I see that as part of the process. Never stop and say, and never fail to be proud of your accomplishments, guys, because that's what we want. We want your expectations to be exceeded. Good morning, Blue Teddy. How you doing? And we've got some more people greeting. Good morning. Good morning. Rule 0 is really hard to follow. Yeah, Johnny, but there's a difference between being sarcastic and being a pain in the butt and actually being a dick, in my definition. Because a lot of people use terms, in my mind, excessively broadly. I'm surprisingly literal. And while it is obviously a figurative being a dick, you're not actually a 5 foot, 8-inch phallus running around, or however tall you are. I just grabbed my height because it was handy on my long leg. But like the kind of dictum I'm talking about is the kind of person who would steal from somebody else, or sabotage somebody who's trying to get started just because it makes you feel puffy or something. Your boat is floated by that, and hence the reason why I don't care what floats your boat as long as no one gets hurt and everything's consensual. That violates the latter two categories, thus putting them firmly in the category of dictum. Now, you're awesome, Johnny. You just have your own way of doing things, and I respect that. I fail at rule 0 because my father wanted a junior. Hey, I'm always number 2. People who may not know that my last name, I am the second. I'm named for my grandfather, which means my name is not my own, so I have an obligation to keep an extremely high moral high ground, lest it backwash onto my grandfather's legacy. That would be bad form. And I know the vast majority of the world doesn't think like that anymore. I am, among many other things, not the vast majority of the world. Now, let's keep going. Oh, we have a comment dump already. That's a good sign. We should have comment dumps. Ooh, my day just got better. Good morning and happy Friday, folks. Happy Friday, Joe. I don't know if you saw the beginning of the show, but I was promoting Alyssa, our friend Alyssa Evans. Published a book. Tell Trelana if she hasn't seen it. Spread the word. She's good people. She never admitted, but she was one of my most promising fencers. And if she weren't several states away, I'd be bugging her to work on her footwork. She may come into the chats when she's not working midweek next week, if all goes well. No promises at all. Stupid cat. Poof. My cat got loose last night. We were shopping, and Stuart's sword cat got loose, and he got very upset. So he cat poof shedded and found his way looking for me in all the places I am, and just kind of shedded all over them as a reminder. It's very strange. Just woke up from working the midnight shift last night. Go back to days tomorrow. And oh, God, Joe. Those swing shifts like that are literally killer. Be careful with that stuff. No one wants that. I know you make money, Joe. I know you make solid bank, but nobody wants that. Oh, God. Swing shifts give me heartburn just thinking about it. And Grant Lanker's greeting everybody. Let's see. We have a comment dump. Wow. We have a comment dump that will not undump. Much better. Yeah, we're getting some distance there. Here we are. And oh, hey yo, CromCon 29 starts tonight. Hey yo, Pops Van Zat. Guys, remember it's Leafy Moss. So even if you don't do it through me, send someone you love an ebook. Okay? Buy it, write it, acquire it. I don't care. It can be one of mine. It can be one of the great people. It can be somebody famous. I, again, don't care. But take this time of sharing before we hit the holiday season and throughout the holiday season to give a little bit of entertainment that's, dare I say, literary. Pass some books around. If you don't have something you want to give right now, write it. If you have something else, pass it along and support each other. Okay? It's a great time to buy new books and pass them out too. Because, you want the stuff before Christmas, and you have to, all that stuff. Now, I like this floating independent literary Christmas kind of thing. Hence Leafy Moss. Bachman's back. He's back again. Bachman's back. Phone a friend. Oh, what's that? And I hear the coffin creak. Listen, they are the children of the night. Who let a turkey in here? What? No, we're joined by Sarah. Good morning. Good morning, Sarah. Dark mistress of the rising tide. She who wields the whip to remind you guys to like, share, and subscribe. How are you? I hope you're doing great. I don't know if you were here for the whole start, but it is Leafy Moss. We'll be sharing stories around and providing opportunities for others to, and it's just a great time. We've missed you. So much has been going on. We've got new authors publishing, new creations. Cindy Koepp funded, Stellari, Grant Lankert, I assume, funded because he says he went beyond his expectations. Luke Stone funded his thing. A lot of people are getting stuff. Mike Jimmy's making animations, and they're awesome. And I got to voice part of it. And I can't wait for that to come out because that's like creator bucket list / life goals. I get to be a cartoon. I'm doing a happy dance. Life is good. And it's spooky season. I have 2 new spooky painting things to put up on the walls. Sarah, my dear. She of the cracked whip and flimsy under things, running barefoot through castles, screaming her head off, just in hopes of terrifying tourists later. I hope you're having a blessed morning. And let's see who else. Long time no see. Yep. Sarah's 9 viewers and 5 likes. Pulling out the cat of 9 tails. That's right. She's got one for every one of you. Indeed. And let's see, hit this. Boink. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Hey, hey. It's Friday. Okay. Let's see. Hope things are going okay, Sarah. I'm not seeing anything. Cool. Happy Friday. Wait, that's Cindy Koepp. We love Cindy Koepp. Cindy Koepp's one of our favorite authors, our comic book writers, game supporters. She makes so much awesome stuff. And then she crochets and she fights with a fan. I love interesting people, and I am digitally surrounded by them. And you, my lovely listeners, viewers, and otherwise people. I know a few of you are using your ESP to just kind of radio in, and I'm here for it, friends. Wow, it is a good day to be alive. And because, of course, we have our friend Cindy Koepp in the chat before she goes to plug everyone else, because we know she can. She's giving, she's loving. I'm going to return the video.
Author Cindy Koepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Yes, folks, Cindy Koepp is creating so much, and she's such an awesome lady. She is one of the most talented link droppers on the planet. Love her. Love seeing her all over the Iowa Quad City Comic Cons. If you haven't gone to quadcitycomiccon.com and you're in the middle of the nation at all, come on. Look, I live at one of the far ends of the Corn Belt. I will let you know, we don't have a lot to do. We have to make our own fun in these parts, because it's not like you step outside and there's a great lake right there, or rivers and stuff. You got to find something to do. And one of the great things we can do as creators is come together and promote each other's work, sell books, and buy independent. Shop small supports us all. Now, back into the chat. Rich, back to the basics on the challenge from Dan. The werewolf book is in the middle of reorganizing because it is likely to be a series to keep things reasonable. Awesome. Do not hesitate to promote that. And as soon as that's done, you reach out to me. We'll set up a nice Wednesday or something when, you don't have too many people, and we can bring you in as a guest, and you can just hop out if lawyers call or something. We'll figure something out. And if you need a special day, we can work something out too, because I want to chat with you more anyway. Whew. Joe Bachman got here about the time I started promoting her. Excellent. Because she doesn't know if she's going to do okay. It's very scary and uncertain. She's a very nice person. So I'm going to do my dangest to boost her along. And we're talking about Alyssa. We need to get her on here more. When you said you were a number 2, I thought you were calling yourself a poop at first. I feel that way sometimes. I'm very, very old-fashioned in the strangest of ways. And one of them is because I don't consider my name my own. It's all kind of on loan to me. I have an obligation to uphold certain ideals for the sake of the name. I don't know if that makes sense. That might just be my paladin showing again, but I really believe a lot of my existence, my name, my life, a lot of this, it's not my own. It's on loan. I'm only here a short time. I'm sort of a liminal entity between, a lot of things. So understanding that means I have an obligation to do the most good I feel I can with the tools I have. And it's hard enough preparing a future based kind of thing while I'm dealing with a special needs child. And that would be enough for any sane person. But anyone who knows me knows I'm not just anybody. I hold myself to a different standard. And part of that standard is putting out as much good in thanks, in reverence for the good that I have experienced, and in blatant defiance for the negativity, because negativity really is a shortcut to a lesser ability set. It really is. And I'm not talking darkness, because I really do believe that light and dark and good and evil are two different axes. Some of the best people I know, are on the surprisingly dark and spooky side, and some of the scariest I've ever met are lit up like Christmas trees. So there's always a matter of caution. I will say this in reference to a case that I once had. Never in the history of paranormal investigation has a disembodied voice coming from a black fog where only scaly tendrils knotted up in it has been a good thing. That's not something you ever want to play with, folks. That's where you get the intersection of dark and not fun spooky. So no, I am not poop, but I do admit to both imposter syndrome and general esteem issues. And I've decided to deal with that by helping people. Because at the end, helping people makes me feel good. And anytime I can help somebody, anytime I can do something that makes somebody else's life a little better or moves them along, that means I can go, see, I affected that change in the universe just a little bit. And there are few things I love more than watching somebody work really hard towards a goal and get recognized for it. I love to be on the far end of the crowd. As far away from the spotlight as I can be, but watching the light kind of come off of somebody when they get where they need to be. It's hard to say and it's hard to explain, but it's a beautiful thing. And one of my few regrets is I didn't get to see a few of those cases happen. But I'm so happy that they did for the people that, who can complain? So yeah, let's keep going on. As to what Michaela's doing, finished Scars, my newest book. Excellent. Now I'm working on the outside garden before I start the next Elite Warrior book. Wonderful. And we have a big comment dump, so let's just click that, because I imagine a lot of that is that's a proper comment dump. That's better. Yeah, I admire your steadfastness, Michaela. Michaela, you said the phrase hard worker. It gets thrown around by, frankly, jerk supervisors more often than it should, wherein the phrase, somebody who can really work hard and build for their dreams both physically and creatively like you do, that's impressive. And I'm genuinely impressed, because I used to have a capacity for a lot of physical action, and in the course of my nerves doing what they do, I lost a lot of that. So I'm really impressed when I see people who have the ability to do things and they keep doing it. Oh, did you see big stompy robots wielding simple swords? Amazon.com/Nicholas Tockert. Thank you. Let's see. Lankard says, I've been feeling a lot better about my comic book creating. We're starting to feel stagnant, but I feel like I'm making progress. Everything I'm seeing, it seems like you are. And a lot of times when you're in the process of building momentum, you don't feel it. When you're getting better, you don't know it till you look around like, wow, okay. Awesome, Michaela. Wonderful, Michaela. You are on a roll. Kudos. That's what I love about this chat. Everybody supports each other. The Historical Fencing Guild tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, to see what kind of cursed swords people have found. Yes, my beloved digital guild will be has had access to a folder, and they are putting in the kind of swords that wound my soul by poor or dangerous design or WTF with a set of rules. I have not looked into this folder because every reaction is on point and genuine. But my God, am I just a touch scared to see how that goes? Okay? And you guys will get to tonight. There was a definite sales spike between issue 3 and 4. Spoiler alert for future announcement. And I may have penned a distribution deal, and I'm making progress on the follow-up to Beowulf. Oh my! Yes, Sarah's like, all progress to be celebrated, Grant. Very nice. Didn't mean to interrupt. I'll slide on out. You didn't interrupt at all. You're more than welcome. Not at all. I hope whatever I said didn't make you think you were interrupting. Not at all. You're wonderful and you're appreciated here. Good news, I don't have an autoimmune disorder. Apparently my immune system is only overzealous about food and chemistry. That's great news, Cindy. Seriously, that is great. And Sarah says, Pops, how are you? No interruptions from you. Have fun at CromCon, Pops. We need more conventions in the NWI area. Not that I'd have time to attend, but I will. It would still be nice. CromCon is a digital convention where Pops has been running a monthly digital convention for, well, he's on the 29th one, I believe. There is in April, NWI, well, a little south of NWI, October 8th, which is right around the corner. Yours truly will be at officially LibraryCon, but those who know it's secretly FezCon, with none other than Brian K. Morris and Carl Witzman, plus a few people I know from the days of ArcticCon. And speaking of ArcticCon, RegionCon is in April of 2023. My first 2-day con at the St. Sava's Orthodox Church. They have a huge secondary banquet area. It is exquisite in Maryville, right on 41, right on Mississippi Street, which is not far from 41 at all. It is gorgeous, and I am so looking forward to going back to a place that was basically my home for many years. In that was the convention, and it was formerly run by dear friend Mr. Benjamin Starkey, who's no longer with us. So what we do, we remember him by doing what he loved. And that will involve tactics gaming, extensively wargaming and RPGing and art and celebration of all things geeky, because that's how I choose to remember people. I remember people by doing what they love. And I would not be the gamer nor the man I am without that. So go look up RegionCon. You can find it on Facebook. The actual day, I want to say it's the 23rd and 24th, because I want to say it's Friday and Saturday, but we'll go. But we'll keep going with that. As it gets closer, I'll give you more announcements, because that's going to be one I'll be happy to work. Bad news. That means we still don't know why all the moving joints hurt, but I do have some further encounters of the medical sort with the medical sorts this week. You're in our thoughts and prayers, Cindy. Always. Let's just keep seeing how you're doing. Let me. Oh, it's a comment. You need neuroses. You know what? Amy Hale's Neuroses has not been plugged lately, so let's plug Amy Hale's Neuroses. Now, let's keep going on. Batman sound effects. Smashwords book search Brian K. Morris. Yes, Brian's been putting out some great books. I started a new little writing thing, but I'm not sure how far I'll go with it. I've got so many other things on the plate already. Welcome to the club, my brother. At my last check, I think I have 10 or 13 different in-progress works that need to be dealt with. I am horrible about that because I have lots of new ideas, and I still have a show I want to set up. I just haven't been able to work the scheduling out. It may mean that Wednesdays have a format change. I'm trying to find the balance between creation and promotion. Right now, I'm kind of heavy on the promotion side, but it is working. I'm starting to get a trickle of reasonable Amazon sales. Nothing to beat my chest about, but you got to remember 99% of authors never publish what they write. 99% of people who publish never really make anything. So you guys are all light years ahead of the game. And Joe, don't worry. I have no doubt your stuff will sell. As I've read, at least skimmed through the books you sent me, and I will be reading more as time allows. And they're compelling stories. It's great stuff. And when you see her, my net's being a little dodgy, but when you see her bug your beloved wife to publish that book she talked about writing, it's about time that happens too. She knows what I'm talking about. And if she responds with, well, you need to too, I'm working on mine, we can I went to say, tried to find a phrase for get together, but all of them were not for that kind of getting together. And it just got worse and worse as my brain went reaching farther for the right phrase of, bringing our brains together to work on projects. So we're just going to let that go. Yes. And Major Marjorie battles the forces of evil. Yes, Brian K. Morris makes amazing stuff. Folks, if you aren't subscribed to Brian K. Morris, it's that guy over here. Please do. He is a powerhouse, and he's just such an important individual, and I love the man dearly. And he's done so much for me, and I am physically aching to see him in so many October 8th. Understandable, says Sarah. Finding even a couple moments to create, that's a couple moments longer than yesterday. That's right, folks. You don't have to. Okay. You know what? Incoming rant. There's a rant incoming. This is going to be a good one. I can feel it. Brothers and sisters, authors and creators, we need to come together to make a point today. Some of you are under the impression, the idea, that it is necessary to crank out infinite volumes of books. And yes, I am talking about Robert Patterson's, slurry that washes like a wave over libraries. However, even he is always co-writing backstage, hooking up, and not rarely doing what he needs. They're not solely his books. Do not judge yourself by the efforts of giants and geniuses because they are rare and fleeting and usually burn out early. No, you find your pace, you tell your story, and you do it, my friends. You do it with the speed that befits your situation. We are living in a world right now where we have to earn money. We have to make the proverbial bank. And that can only be done by putting in the hours we need to, sometimes at things we hate, and then driving, striving, clawing out minutes to put words to paper. Even if it's a sentence a day, even if it's a couple words, even if you're doing what all authors do, where you're just staring at the page going, okay, now what? That is still writing. You find your pace and you create at it, and you create consistently. It is not the great spike in creation that will drive you to your goal. It is the determination. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And then, and only then, can you reach your goal. Because if you think it's just going to be one big jump, no one can do it. So you build a stairway to the heaven of your own creation by working consistently, grinding and driving. And sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you're lucky to get a word on page, and sometimes it will fly and you'll feel like you're coasting downhill and the greatness will just pour out of your fingertips into the keyboard. But do not rely on those moments of ease, because they are just as fleeting as the grind, as the writer block that may descend from the heavens upon your head. And for the truth is, all of these things will pass. And the measure of a creator who is producing content is that he or she or they or it or whatever other pronoun you use is doing the best they can continuously. And through that continuous effort, we can improve, we can build up, we can promote and create the best independent ideas. The freeing of thought from the burden of focus groups and marketability and the oppression of the horror that we endure of banal derivative works. No, you are all creators. You are all independent with the unique ideas, and the world deserves them. Because remember, while we are not immortal in this realm, our ideas can live on as long as the written word is preserved. And that, my friends, is today's literary sermon. Can I get a heck yeah? Okay. Now, CromCom this weekend. Drop by and chat with creators. Thank you, Cindy. More than yesterday. Yep. That happens too. That's why editing is a thing. Frog G has an Indiegogo rocking frog voodoo magic gods, I think. Check out voodoo. Frog G, voodoo gods and magic. If only I had a newer trailer.
We've all read the story. The brave hero conquers the diabolical villain and rescues the damsel in distress. But this is real life, and in real life,
stories don't always have happy endings. Frog G, the story of a man turned into a frog by a voodoo priestess sent on a mission to kill a god by death itself. Now our hero must roam the underworld to regain his humanity and win back the woman he loves.
Yes, that comic is out now on Indiegogo, and Frog G is an amazing person, to support him. Let's see what we got from Grant Lanker. It's so hard for me to balance my creative work with more profitable but more soul-killing work. Absolutely. And sometimes even your creative work can get in the way. For example, I have done, I'll say 3 major game projects this year that I've been involved in. Because I'll be involved with Hybrids, the RPG, probably till I die. With Luke coming back from the big sleep, there's a lot of editing on that. I did a lot of work for Jody McPhee for his AWF Primetime Saturday Night RPG, which is a wrestling simulator. Currently involving an all-ladies wrestling league. And some of my most creative work in a long time setting up for Writer's Rule for Cooper, Telepathic Bunny Comics, and Buddy Lord. With all these things I've done my work for, I'm waiting to see get out there because I want to see how people run with the mechanics I've made. But that means I've had to neglect a lot of my own game design because I have RPG designs that desperately need to be done. I have campaigns I want to codify, and I have a major project that is coming up that I need to be prepped for. But, I made more money doing those than I make on my work. So you have to do that. But you also have to... it's like, no matter how much food you get, you'll starve. You'll die of thirst if you don't have water, right? Likewise, you could have all the water in the world, and if you don't have food, you'll die of hunger. So there is the balance between profit, creating for profit and creating for passion. Now, in a perfect world, and when the stars align, you can bring these two forces together into a single point of radiance. But that is not always possible. And sometimes you have to put in the work for other people just to get the opportunity to do yours. That is the grind. But don't feel bad about it because we are all balancing that. And that's not even connecting with the, that many of us, the vast majority of us, work a 9 to 5 somehow doing one job. And then we're writing because we love to write. And unfortunately, tragically, our society does not support the creatives it profits from. And that does sicken me. That does build up a fiery rage in the back of my soul and burns up my throat, comes out as a tirade against the soulless grinding businesses. But we need that currently to survive. So I say this. You can't live without survival. But you can survive without living, and that is a horrible place to be. Having spent much time there in surprisingly recent years. So find your balance and expect it to be hard. But as you do better in one, the other will build that gyroscopic action like a bicycle, and it'll start to be easier to find that balance. I have faith in you, Brad. And basically everyone here. I don't promote people who don't have potential. Bear Publications has sci-fi anthologies at bearpublications.com. They also have Royal Cruise's art on coffee and coffee cups and totes and posters at bit.ly/bearpub. I focus too much on my creative work, I start to fall behind on my bills. If I focus too much on non-creative work, I start to get depressed. Absolutely. I am very much coming through a period of that where my health prevented me from doing both and then easing my way back in. It is a balance. That is a battle. And we are all, I can't say do this and it'll fix it, but I will say we are all fighting that good fight. So you're not alone in this. And Royal Cruise, or I did that. Royal Cruise also has his anime art on artstation.com/Royal Cruise. And Sarah says, totally understand, Grant. I try or something thinking rather than all or nothing. I try all or something thinking rather than all or nothing thinking, but it doesn't happen every day. Even coming here is positive with my life right now. exactly. And one, thank you. That means the world to me because that means I'm doing my job. I think that's how they do the little tiny heart. Uh, that's what this show and what this channel and basically what I want to be about. A place that is positive and not toxic positivity. I don't like that either. It does exist. But a real positivity that understands that it does hurt and it's okay. It's okay to say, wow, that hurts, or wow, I'm sad, or I'm disappointed in my sales. Lord knows I have looked and gone, what's the point when I've looked at my KDP, outlays, especially in the recent past. It's hard, but it can get better. And by supporting each other like we do in this organization, as loose as it is, and through shows like this, we can get better and get over these things because it is what we're about. We're about building each other up, and we all are enduring that same the creative's crisis. I want to be creating, but I have to be surviving, and I adore the sentiment of something rather than nothing, rather than all or nothing. As somebody who has to adapt to my assorted physical needs, and I work with people, I will probably never be in a situation to win a tournament again. And even at my best, I came in second place consistently. And I'll be honest, sometimes that hits. It makes you feel like you've been weighed, measured, and found lacking. But instead, I got to fight. And despite everything that's wrong with me, I've done that. And yeah, I don't fight in organizations that I used to participate in for reasons that have little to do with actual fighting. But I still get to teach. I still get to write. I still get to pass my ideas on and help people. And that has value. That is something. Find the somethings in your life and cling to them because they are important. Got another comment dump. This is going to be a busy show day, and I'm okay with that because we've got good stuff coming around. Roll Cruise's art can be got on Subscribestar. Yes. / Roll Cruise. Time for both can be difficult. Yes, Grant. I've been dealing with the same thing for some extent. See, you're not alone. And Victoria Adams has a great book on the historical cultural perspectives of the Book of Job and how it applies practically. That is one that I have to read. That is on my list, and I keep just not doing it. I need to. S.L. Rowland is getting ready to launch Kickstarter campaign where you can get some of his art and books. And you can find his stuff currently on Amazon.com/SL Rowland. Wonderful, Cindy. Thank you for supporting all those good people. Grant, I'm working on Beowulf #5 while I watch the show because it's been a couple days since I did anything creative, and there's a nagging voice in my head that said I should be doing something I can to make money. Well, and that's the other thing, multitasking. While I do believe in being a monotasker, I think monotasking is greatly undervalued in our society. Doing one thing, doing it extraordinarily well, and moving on to the next is very much a thing. My compromise, and I don't know if this conceptually will make sense to folks, is serial monotasking. Because my goal is to always have something going passively. What financials call passive income streams. When I write a book and I get it up on Amazon, aside from promotion, I don't have to do much else with that book for a while. I've done the work, I put it in, I get money for it. Now, I'm trying to get a merch account so that I can sell merch because there's some stuff I just want to make that I think people would enjoy. And then once I've done the art for that and I put it up there, the artwork is done. So while I'm sitting here and I'm building people up, I'm also promoting your works. I'm promoting my works. I'm promoting the idea of creation. So I'm actually doing a lot while I'm doing only one thing because I've got it staggered. While I'm sitting, when I'm on Luke Stone's show. Well, mine and Luke Stone's show, Nerd Bacon. A lot of times I'm listening, but because I'm listening, I don't need to watch people. So I will take that as one of my weekly times to sit down and draw on projects. So something like this. This is in the works. It's not quite done, but I'll let you guys get a look. Most of this was done while I was working on Luke Stone's, was listening to some of the conversation, Luke Stone's Nerd Bacon, on our Nerd Bacon. Doing that keeps me loose. It keeps my brain flowing, because if you can't let your brain solidify, that's where writer's block comes from. You have to keep things a little loose. You have to keep ideas coming and content going. So whenever you're enjoying media, you're watching a show you like, it's okay to stop and go, why do I like this show? Are there techniques being used in the writing or the cinematography or the layout, whatever you're seeing, that would help me be better? And that way your brain is always engaged. Okay? So that's what we're doing. Let's see. Great toys and websites at Studio Hubris.wixsite, Studio Hubris.-5. And, or I guess I should say reliable money, since I am making some money off of Beowulf. And remember, we have to keep the perspective. I won't lie to you. A lot of times, I make, I'll just put it out there. I make about $50 a month from my Patreon. Now, that goes in part to make sure I can cover StreamYard for when the kindness of Joe Bachman, who has covered this year's StreamYard, recedes. It's also how I afford to buy trainers that I review, and work with some of that has gone to working on the grounds to keep where I can do the live training that I love to do, where I'm teaching people to sword fight. So that money doesn't stay there. Through Amazon, for a long time, if I made $5 a month, I considered that a victory. I'm making a bit more than that. I don't want to jinx it, but I've been, $20 is not unheard of. And I'm hoping that if I can keep building stuff and keep on creating at a course where new stuff is building with the momentum that's already there, and once you get more stuff, people call back to your older stuff. We'll see. That's something I need to work on. And today may be a day where I do a lot of writing. I'm not quite sure yet. But that is an important factor. So let's keep writing and keep working, and acknowledge that anytime, guys, I'm serious, anytime you make a cent off of something you've made, okay, you buy a book, you sell a book at a show, be a little high on that. Let yourself be excited, because one, the monkey brain and back requires celebration. It sounds cheesy, but I heard a TED Talk. I don't remember who gave it. I feel bad about it, but it's the God's honest truth. But they were talking about we have to remember to celebrate our victories, because if we don't, life starts to not matter, because the monkey brain and back needs reminding that what we're doing has meaning. It's important. And that maintains, a lot. There's a lot of sociology involved with how our psyche interacts with the world. We need to feel that we have a social purpose. We have a reason. Now, some people's reason is to make as much money as they can so that they can retire to some little place that's hard to name, but all the drinks come in coconuts. Mine's a lot more complex than that, but to each their own. But part of it is to tell the stories. And you're doing that. You're making money. You're telling the stories. You may not be making what you want, but believe it or not, when people say, man, I'll live the dream, The dream isn't when you get there. It's when you look back and you realize how you got there. Trust me on that one. I have absolute faith, Grant. And see, Sarah's like, 5 issues? That's huge. Congrats. Already issue 5? Yeah. Most people who put a comic out will be one and done. They lack the fortitude to continue. Those with some under their belt, I respect more. That's Sarah. Sarah, my problem currently is working 60 hours a week plus being in on 2 town boards, a political committee, and trying to learn a new programming language. Now, hey, I need to find a way to add more hours to the day at this point. Now, one, I admire your activity and dedication, Joe. You are a force to be reckoned with, and your motivation is incredible. But don't overdo it. You know, I'm a little worried that you're carrying more than is comfortable, and that's not necessarily good for you. I don't want you to stop because I know you've got to keep moving. You're one of those people who's just got to keep doing stuff. But and it may get better come winter when you're not doing quite so many construction projects. But just be careful, Joe. I don't want to see you burn out. You're one of the best. And not just because of the nice things you do for me. You're genuinely an awesome person. And I need to have Trelana be happy. So you have to take care of Trelana. So that means you have to take care of you. Them's the rules. This weekend, Des Moines QuadCon Comic and Toy Show, September 24th and 5th. Drop by and get dragons, books, and creepy stuff that glows in the dark. HTTPS Quad City Comic Con. Wow, that's right. Wow. I only associate with interesting people. And interesting people are usually interesting because they're doing something. So a whole lot of the people are just, they're busy. Let's see. At the end of the day, I'm drained. I lay down, attempt to sleep. My brain starts making edits to where, and I'm barely writing it. I don't let my brain nitpick editing decisions. Yeah, you are... you get trapped by the attempt for perfection. I will tell you a secret. Okay? You know, let me hit this anchor there for just a second. And we'll go right back up here. Every book has a typo somewhere. There's always something. And it's necessary because sometimes that's the only thing that can pull you back out of the world. When you're drawn in, it's the only thing that can break the immersion and give you a chance to go, oh God, I haven't eaten in a few hours. I've had books where I've been so drawn into them. I've sat down and read them and, for nearly a whole day. And it's like, oh shoot, I have to go to the bathroom kind of scenario. Because immersive writing is just that. It's immersive. Or I haven't eaten. That's a good one. You know, I read. Oh my gosh, what did I have today? Oh, pizza. That was dinner 2 days ago. Oh shoot. So that's part of the reality. Let's see what else we got. Wow, that. Ugh, break ends too soon. Starting Art 76 for vintage cartooniness. Hashtag bring cookie home. Don't forget to tip your host. And yes, if you want to tip me, that can be done at paypal.me/Nicholas Tockert. I will gladly accept any monetary donations you want to give, and I will give a heartfelt and private thank you. And if you want a public one, I'll do that too. I have no problem with that. But back to the comments. I forgot to keep anchored. Oh, and go Grant, go. Yes, at least not yet. I understand. You got to get it down. And then you edit the heck out of it. And it's hard. I have the same problem. Yeah, Sarah, the Kickstarter for issue number 4 has just ended. And issue number 1 should be in comic stores in March. Yes, get on the shelf. That's what I want to see. I hope it was a very legitimate distributor. I dodged a bullet, per se, with a very bad grift that happened. That some great people like Randy Zimmerman, of course, Luke Stone. I believe J.D. Calderon may have been involved in that. They thought they had a distribution deal, and it was actually a scam. Now, because of the voraciousness of the lawyers that gentleman has hired, I will not name him publicly because that would invite wrath that I don't need to deal with right now. I will simply say be very cautious. And that being said, all my overprotectiveness of my friends aside, congratulations. Let's see that. Plus a very good show possibility of a Richie showing at the library. FestCon. Absolutely in it. It's going to be a great afternoon. I don't know what's happening afterwards, but I'm sure there will be good stuff. Oh yes. Also need to find time to do a bunch of pyrography for RegionCon 2. I have a feeling winter is going to be extremely busy for me too at this point. Oh yes. Well, the other thing is, Joe, you're local, and I need time like that too. So if we ever wanted to make arrangements, reach out to me and reach out to Amanda, my beloved wife, and basically the queen of scheduling around here. And what we'll do is have Trey come over, bring boxes of goodies. We can set up tables either downstairs that will give me the force of motivation to clean out my basement and get that back like I want it to be. Or we can set stuff up upstairs and we can just have a crafting and what they used to call a stitch and and you guys can work on stuff and talk and plot our coming convention and maybe plan some more. Let's see. Another comment dump. Yes. Amy Hale's theme music makes me happy. Doesn't it? It's been a while. Joe needs to hop for now. Need to remote into a computer to install a printer for a coworker and try to get a few things done. That is always a pain. May the force be with you. Have a great weekend, everyone. You too, Joe. Reach out, bud, even if you don't need anything. I just love hearing from you. RegionCon is 4/11 and 4/22, 2023, Friday and Saturday. I scream because I'm so excited. Yes, it was originally scheduled for the 23rd, and they realized I think that was a Sunday, so they moved things back and got a 2-day. Oh, I can't wait to see so many of my friends and game. I'm going to run Big Stumpy Robots and do live art like I always do, and might even do some RPGing. Oh, I'm going to have to make new trophies. Yes. Guys, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be excellent. See, Sarah says, I've been bad about not coming into chat. Right now, I'm going into listening mode while I'm also having to adult, so I totally get it. Not easy at times. Oh, about coming into the chat. I think we understood, okay, darling? And I'm going to keep doing this schedule as long as I can. If there may be some interruption, and I should tell it at the end of October week, at least first week of November, I will be possibly spotty in my broadcasting. I haven't quite ironed out how, and I may have to broadcast from Wi-Fi, but my wife and I are going to take a vacation in celebration, and my son, of course, because I am this crazy family guy who likes to have my kid around. We're going to celebrate 20 years of being married, which for some of the oldsters in here isn't that impressive, but in this day and or age, for those of us from the late 1900s, You petty little futuristic people. No. From the glory days, yeah, see. I predate the internet, yeah. But we're celebrating 20 years of being married, and we never got to do like a honeymoon. We've always been financially unable to do long journeys and long things, and there's always been people we're caring for something that's preventing that. Now, Sandra is of an age where hope and behavior where knock on plastic because the woods. Oh, here, knock on wood. We can go somewhere, and I'm looking forward to that. So that may affect things as it gets closer. I'll let you guys know. But other than that, I'm here for you. I'm here to support and encourage and build up. And I hope it's reflecting back on me because, I'm getting some more sales and a little bit more notoriety. And by you guys liking and sharing and subscribing to my channel, I get more word out there so I can help get you guys out there because that's what it's about. It's really easy. Ask the people I advertise what I charge. It is currently nothing. Except, of course, for Joe Bach Tech Apps. JB Tech Apps. Dun, dun, dun. Go there. Get apps. If you're in construction, he has done some amazing construction apps. If you're into gaming, he has done some incredible gaming apps. And colleagues, it's looking like tentatively 2023, there might be a big Stompy Robots video game by Joe Bachman. Yes. Again, we're moving on up through my list of dreams. I am totally excited. Hey, taking a friend to the eye doctor, but I had to stop and drop a like. Thank you for that. Your likes, your viewership means everything to me. Hey, Carl, I wonder where you were. Have to bolt, spend time meeting for work. Be well, be safe, take it light. Every day, brother. Looks like we're winding down for this program. Hey, Grant. Hello, everyone. Bye now. Bye, Carl. We'll see you soon in the Secret Humor group. And tonight on in the Uncle Carl's green room where it's not recorded and the best things happen. Grest. Greatest and best things became Grest. Welcome to my world. Let's see. Sarah says, something I learned in therapy that's multitasking is promoted as a good thing. Then they had me say the alphabet and count at the same time. Both slowed down when less productivity happens. Yep. That's not meant for when you have to with the world around you. I understand. Less productivity happens on both. I mean, I fully understand. I don't mean to sound like I'm perfect. Sharing what I can, what I've learned to help others. Not always foolproof, but I try to utilize it best I can. Only sharing. Sarah, dear, I'm giving you a hug. I said, okay, like both hands, hug. Darling, you're helping people. You're being supportive. You're being supportive of me and reminding me that my beliefs are both psychologically sound in this category and clinically sound. And people need to hear it from both sides. No one, don't take this wrong. No one thinks you're perfect, but you're trying to get better, and that's all anyone can do. You don't breathe, darling. You don't need to feel you don't need to justify it quite so hard. You are welcome, accepted, and loved here. That's what we do. Okay. Yeah. It's easy to get sucked in. I remember when I was a kid and I was so into what I was reading, I missed the start of a food fight. Got shaken back to reality by a friend. Been there. She was shielding me with her lunchbox. Option. Yep, I know the distributor you're talking about was very believable. Yeah, and I just don't want to see anybody burned. But I hope everybody can succeed. Nice. Congrats on 20 years. Yeah, it's a big deal to me. There was a time before the internet. Sounds made up, but okay. Holy deep fried snickerdoodles. That was a blissfully short meeting. Yes! Victory for Richie. Short meetings rule, because then you can do stuff. I can't help but multitask. I'm sure it does slow things down, but I can barely walk and think in a straight line, let alone work. Now, I do have some form of ADD, which means I am always doing something. So what I try to do is split. So if I'm listening to a podcast or people talk, I'm part of a conversation that doesn't require my full "I'm here" and blah 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 blah. In part to give other people verbal room, because shockingly, I can fill up an audio space. I can fill up any space. I'm a chunky monkey. But that's where I start taking notes, and then I doodle and things happen. Here, this is what one of my little note sheets looks like. I was taking the show. Let me see if I can get to focus in at all. A little hard to see. But I started, and then I'm like, you know what? I haven't done any isometric dungeon design in a while. So I started sketching that, and that's all my notes are filled with doodles and sketches and things while I'm jotting down what I need to remember or look up or need to do. Much like my wall of Post-it notes, I realized the other Post-it notes I was looking for are actually above the wall, so I could have done that. Yay! But it's balancing it. Okay. I have to fidget, so I try to fidget in a productive way. Okay. Now we've been going for nearly an hour and a half, folks. Let me look at my banners real quick. Brand. Who needs a plug today? Let's see. I'm going to take a second and plug my friend Robin Yoda, because I want to see her, and it is part of my mission. I want everyone who has a YouTube channel who's involved in my life to get up to 100 so they can have a custom call-in. That's not asking a lot. So I'm going to go there. So here's a fun YouTube channel and a Twitch if you Twitch.
Hi, bunnies. This is Robin Yoda. Just wanting to let you know I have a Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Robin Yoda. You can catch me there Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific playing Stardew Valley, Saturdays at 2 p.m. playing The Sims 4, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific playing a random game from my Game Pass library. You can also find me Mondays on my YouTube channel, Robin Yoda the Lilac Bunny. I hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching.
Hey, and Robin's a great person. We go way back, like outstandingly back. There's history, friends. And I'm glad she's putting stuff out, and she's got a lot of personality, but tends to hide it. I know a lot of people like that. Sarah goes on further to say society makes us multitask. I understand. It's for when you're allowed to do so. Every day is a balancing act. Yes. And if we're forced to multitask, we should be able to at least choose part of what we're multitasking. If I'm driving, at least I can listen to music or a podcast I like. If I'm, at work doing something, that's fine. And the trick, like I said, is I really believe in serial monotasking. The trick is being able to shift gears. Okay? So we all have to wait places. Okay? We all have to sit and wait. We have to wait in line to get food. We have to wait in line at the DMV. We have to wait in line at the store. By doing that, while we're waiting, I offend some of my older viewers sometimes because I love my phone. But I love my phone because my phone is a computer. This is a Linux box that fits in my pocket, a Unix box. Don't let anybody fool you. This is a computer that we can make phone calls on. And it has apps like Docs. If I can sit on my phone and text, in the great does pineapple belong on pizza debate, why not use that same technology to write a little bit on my book, or to have a, this is my travel art kit, except for the eraser that's not in here. Travel art kit, I talked about this. I have mechanical pencils, I have assorted drawing pens, and I have in here this guy. There's another charger I need to put in here so it works better. This is my $10 big money powered stylus. I have drawing apps on my phone. So I can doodle on my phone, submit it to DA. And if I've done artwork, so, my version of multitasking is multi-utilization, not so much multitasking. So I had a nightmare, really messed up, weird nightmare. I woke up from it, I wrote it down. Good for you to do. You have a weird dream, write it down. It's good for figuring out what's going on in your brain. Realized it's a decent story. Not a great story, but a decent story, a little horror story. Well, now I have this horror story I've written down that with slight editing I can put up on Amazon. So there's a little story called The Whisperer. It's only like 99 cents. It's not long, that I put up on Amazon. And occasionally people get it and read it. A nice little nightmare horror story. I'll probably include it in an anthology of something else that I want to do in the future, where I just put a bunch of my fiction and throw it up, because I've done that. Now, that same logic, if I'm sitting, I have to sit. I have to wait at the doctor's office. I have to sit in this room and wait between half hour to, a couple hours. Again, I could sit, look at the fish, look out the window, or I could bring a sketchbook with me. And I'm multitasking. But the task that I'm working on externally is passive. I am waiting. That is a passive thing. So I have my art kit, I draw, or I write on Amazon. But then, if I get it up while I'm working, the passive action of my multitasking is it's passively up there and people are looking at it. That's getting sales. That's a passive income source. It counts as multitasking because it sets up, it's running parallel, but what you did is you started that ball rolling and then let it go because it can handle itself for a while. And Sarah says, exactly. I have a few alarms. I've set a few alarms a lot of days to get where I'm supposed to be at various times. I don't know what I do without it. The same for shifting into bits of creativity during those waits in line. Yes, that's how you get it done. I don't have time to write a book. I hear it all the time. I'm like, do you go to the doctor? Or do you take your spouse to the doctor? Well, Mandy's having her doctor's appointment. It'll be 45 minutes. I'm sitting with Xander. Look at Xander. Is he talking? No, he is in tablet mode. Okay, that happens sometimes. Angry Birds happens. Farmville happens. Minecraft happens. Okay. It's a fairly, my tactical situation is pretty safe. As long as my attention isn't too far off Xander and my tactical situation, I can sit right, look up, sit right, look up, and you end up with a few hundred words. Holy smokes, you've got a few hundred words. I am a short subject author. I live around the 4,000 word line. The vast majority of my work is, post 4,000, 4 to 10 is where I like to live. It's just how I like to write. So if I do 400 words over the course of 10 days, I've got something that's long enough to be published. It's short fiction. It's an hour or two read, but it's something. And then you put it, and then what you do is you just anthology it because you've already done the work. Because there are some people who won't buy the individual stories, but they'll buy the anthology. There are some people who don't want to buy the anthology, but they'll buy the individual stories. And yes, these can be tweaked as necessary. Only guidelines that work for myself. Never know who needs to hear something. I don't know. That's the goal. Back to listening mode. That's fine. Because what you're putting in, Sarah, right now is this is the kind of conversation that keeps me doing what I do. I promote to help people. That's sort of how I paid back you wonderful folks for listening to me ramble and letting me try to be a help to you and the people who catch us in the rerun. But it also lets me help folks to hear what your experiences are. They're valid and they're valuable. Thank you. Never feel you need to just ghost away. Okay? Oh, goodness. I suppose I have to learn to focus if I ever have kids, won't I? Or maybe I'll just be the eclectic aunt. One, nothing wrong with being the eclectic aunt. Several people who I know, and again, so my favorite people in the world can be described as the eclectic aunt. I'm looking at Trey and Joey. Those two, they don't have children. They don't plan to have children. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone wants to breed. We're also, as a species, and this is a little deep and a little offside, but I can say it, it's my show. We're moving from where our biological procreation is as important, in my opinion, as our ideological. The transfer of ideas for many people are essentially they're the children. They're how they reach towards immortality. And I very much wanted children. I've always wanted to be a father. I am a father. Now, my son has special needs. That does have effects on things. It's why I will not be a biological father again. He needs all the time I have that I can, in that category. But to stay sane and be a good dad, I have to create. That's part of it too. So how do we balance that? Well, the same way we balance everything, by being aware of it. And the other thing we need to talk about is inaction. Oh, I'm sorry. Sarah, I think the purpose of saying what I have learned has been taken differently from what I intended. I'm sorry. I hope it was received well. I don't want anything to be taken poorly because you've put out incredible commentary. Whoops, no, you. If I'm off base, I just think it's incredibly. If you can pull it off, the best thing to do is monotask. Do one thing, do it extraordinarily well, and move on to the next. If you have to live in a society where you're multitasking, there are ways to do it where you're actually serial monotasking. And that's where I was taking it. If I misinterpreted it, I apologize, Sarah. But I found everything you were saying to be quite insightful and well-spoken or well-written. I think of this as a conversation. So that's why I say says a lot. But it's fascinating, and it's a great tribute. Now, all that being said, we're well over an hour and a half. I need to get some food in me pretty soon. I'm starting to feel that lightheadedness. So, no, Blue Teddy may have taken it differently. Not sure. I think Blue Teddy's talking about something else. And yes, see, I do believe in situational awareness, which being situationally aware is a form of, apparently a form of multitasking. But again, I stagger. It's like that. The dig. Okay. See, yeah, you're fine. We're all good. It's, dig a tunnel. You know that song, dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel? Quick before the hyena comes, and there's the whole, you look up, the meerkats look up, around, check, everything's cool. Then they do something. Then they look up, everything cool, and do stuff. That is a rhythm, and it's a silly way to put it, but it's a great way to wrap your mind around it. So, do that. Stagger your stuff and allow yourself to. If you have to train yourself and set reminders, I have med alarms. I have garbage alarms. This device helps me a lot. Oh, no. Sorry, I just riffed something off. Blue Teddy says, oh, no, sorry. I riffed something specific, he said, about how much had to be devoted to his son. That's just being a parent. And it changes how you think. But it does. Part of the maintenance, because I am a basically 24/7 caregiver. I don't work out of the house because my son needs the assistance. But I get up before he does, and I usually do these shows. And he'll get up and he checks in with me. And then he goes and he has his breakfast, which I make before the show. And he sometimes he'll come and sit with me. Sometimes he'll even hop on my shows just to say hi to the people if there's somebody else on the screen. But this is my time when I get to be an adult and I get to talk about complex things. And I get to be in a room where my son isn't, which sounds terrible, but I have 24 hours a day with a very anxious autistic child. Makes you value your time. And it reminds me that I'm still doing good outside of the universe. Okay, everybody's getting air hugs. Okay, sorry, it was me who misunderstood. Thanks for clarifying. I love this group. But folks, I want to remind you, for those who came late, Leafy Mess is upon us, which means the people who are interested, especially like through Facebook who know me, reach out. I'll give you the secret link. And I'll set up a folder where you can either write something custom or edit something custom. And then we can all have little ebooks, digital stories to read. And the air hug is returned. Awesome. I want to remind you guys that, yay! October 8th at the at the Benton County Public Library in Fowler, Indiana. I want to say, I get the 102 North Van Buren Avenue, Fowler, Indiana. From 10 till 2, possibly longer. We have to look at what the weather's going to be, and we're nearly close enough to get weather dates. So there's possible outdoor space, free, for authors especially, is LibraryCon. We've got a few other people coming in. So most the slots are filling up indoors, but reach out to Amanda Tockert at the Benton County Library to find out more information. And as soon as I know the weather, I'll let you know. A lot of the Nevermorians are going to be present, more than I expected. I'm very, very flattered. I hope we can sell books. We'll probably end up selling books to each other if such things happen. But it's a great start, and it's a great... for me, it'll be a great way to get back into doing cons because I need it dearly. But we are all creators, guys, and we have to create. So that's what I ask almost every other day now. I ask you guys to reach out and create. Because once you've drawn something, once you've put words to paper or digital or whatever, you can always edit it. You can fix it. You can tweak it. But you can't edit a blank page. And I don't want people's the survivor of your thoughts to be a blank page. So keep that in mind. It's spooky season. Don't haunt your own life. Live it. I will see you guys. Actually, if you go subscribe, you have liked and subscribed here, I hope. Like, share, and subscribe here. And on the Historical Fencing Guild channel, my other channel, I will be doing my Cursed Swords special, where my lovely viewers have filled another folder. I'm a big fan of the Google Docs folders with swords that are horrific because they want to see me react. I do what my Patreon folks enjoy. So that's how that works. And that will be at 8, 7 Central. So 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the Historical Fencing Guild tonight. Until then, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And Sarah, give her a last word. The only way to understand things is to ask. That's something I've been trying to do for far more effective communication. Yes, time to create on my end. Can't wait to see what else comes out of you, Sarah. Love you all, guys. Have a great day. See you soon.